Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Jessi Kaur to you. Jessi is an author, an international speaker, and she is now becoming the authoritative voice on how to apply gurbani to our daily lives. She speaks and writes with passion to clarify the message of the Sri Guru Granth Sahib. She has written 3 books, Dear Takuya, The Royal Falcon, and my personal favorite, The Enchanted Garden of Talwandi. She has been written up as a pioneer of Sikh children's literature, and her books are being used as enrichment curriculum in a number of places and as teachers' resource books in the US, UK, and Canada. Her essays on Sikhi and contemporary works have been published in numerous journals worldwide. She has delivered workshops and seminars at international conferences. She's conducted youth workshops, great job by the way, and has been invited to speak at the Parliament of World Religions numerous times. She's created literally a vast variety of work with her writings on the Sri Guru Granth Sahib, and through her writings and essays has been featured in TV shows and award-winning documentaries. And then she produced a play. She took the Royal Falcon and produced this wonderful musical play, which is of course based on one of her books. She has also been very prolific in the nonprofit side. She was a co-founder of International Institute of Gurmat Studies and then the founder of IGS Now. She's also on the board of Kaur Foundation since its inception. As a professional, she works in the talent acquisition industry in Silicon Valley and has worked with some of the largest companies in the world. Before moving to the US, Jessi taught English literature at Delhi University, which is where she graduated from also. You can all find her work by going online to www.jessikaur.com.
Thank you so much for that very kind introduction. It is with great joy and deep gratitude to Vaheguru that I offer Home of the Beloved to you. It comprises of 50 core concepts from Sri Guru Granth Sahib that span the spiritual passage we undertake to go back to our true home, the source from where we emanated. I call it the Home of the Beloved. Over the last 40 years, in my many roles as an author, a speaker, counselor, I have traveled extensively giving workshops and seminars across the world. I have witnessed firsthand a hunger for spiritual guidance that is universal and spans different age groups, diverse faith traditions, and crosses geographical boundaries. There is a yearning for learning about the purpose of life, the mind, body, spirit connection, the realms that exist beyond the visible. Even if we are unaware of it, the soul yearns to connect with the divine while we stay engaged with life. I wrote Home of the Beloved to share the spiritual expansion that I experienced through the teachings that assuaged my yearning and nurtured my soul. There are many ways to nourish the soul and tune in to a higher power. Sages and saints throughout the centuries have shown us how to do it. The path shown by Sri Guru Granth Sahib is all-inclusive. It is without dogma. There are no elaborate observances, no mediators. It is founded on a connection with the divine that is reinforced by a daily individual practice and strengthened by being in the company of like-minded people. It entails elevating yourself and supporting others. As I started to understand it, it resonated in my inner core. While the daily practice is important, it's not enough. Bringing a higher consciousness into action by the way we live and interact with others is foundational. Life offers us mirrors of possibilities. To achieve the best outcome, we have to be the best version of ourselves. It made sense to me. My spiritual quest began with my fascination for the personality of Guru Gobind Singh. Stories of his valor, his regal bearing, the great sacrifices he made to free us of tyranny made him my larger-than-life hero. Over the years, my attachment to the personality of the Guru was replaced by a deep connection with the Shabad, the word manifestation of the divine. Gurbani became my personal living Guru. And although I've traveled much, none of my journeys was as rewarding as the journey inward with Gurbani as my beacon. The journey continues every day, and hopefully one day it'll take me back to the home of my beloved. In the book, I share how Gurbani filled my life with awe, love, and immense gratitude. It broke down the walls, blessed me with the awareness of oneness, and brought grace into my life. How I revel in that wonder and oneness is what I talk about in Home of the Beloved. Oneness is not a politically expedient statement to make in a polarized world. It is the nature, the very nature of the pure reality of Ik. It is manifested in the unity that underlies the diversity of Omkar. Home of the Beloveds speaks of the eternal truth, whose awareness dissolves our finite identity by connecting us to the expansion of the infinite. We become equipped to create an ecosystem of harmony and interdependency that thrives on the well-being of all. We need it today more than ever before. The 50 concepts of Home of the Beloved are an introduction to the core message of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, and they trace the landscape we encounter as we do the inner work. The first section addresses the timeless, universal principles, the gospel of Guru Nanak, the eternal truth of Ik, the wondrously manifested Omkar, the creative force behind all creation, the Nirbhav zone where all fear is dissipated, the divine love that harbors no enmity towards anyone, and the grace that empowers, heals, and transforms. The second section is dedicated to the practice of a seeker. We often wonder, what is the need of doing litany? Why is vichar or reflection important? And sometimes we question whether ardas is heard and wonder, what do we ask for? Home of the Beloved addresses these questions. How Nitnem, Simran, Kirtan, Vichar, Ardas keep us grounded in the chaos of life. How the company of Sat Sangat gives us wings to fly across the wide and deep chasms we encounter. How our practice becomes our anchor in good and troubled times. The third section is dedicated to the states of being that emerge as we proceed gradually on our quest. The realization of the importance of each breath, the reason for becoming a child again, the magnitude of selfless service, the beauty of Sahaj, the sanctuary of Saran, the strength of Siddhak, the rewards of sabr, and many more qualities that flower within us as we progress on the spiritual path are described. Different levels of consciousness reveal a new trait, a new gun, a positive quality that adds to the growth and inner radiance of the spiritual seeker. The path is full of challenges. We face obstacles and pitfalls that threaten our progress and become deterrents to our growth. Like an athlete, we have to overcome them. It is important to recognize their power and lure and be constantly vigilant of our thoughts and actions. We go through a chiseling of our mind. As negative proclivities drop, the light within us begins to shine brighter. It is reflected in the way we conduct ourselves in everyday life. The last section describes the planes of consciousness through which we ascend. Our journey starts on this planet, which is referred to as Tharumkhand. From here, we move on to the realm of spiritual knowledge and then spiritual endeavor. It is only with grace that we finally reach Sachkhand, the realm of truth, where the beloved abides. The entire journey is about responsible engagement, discernment, discipline, the blossoming of love, and the experience of Anand, the joy and fulfillment that comes from grace. The path is finer than a strand of hair, sharper than a razor's edge. Home of the Beloved charts the journey with simple explanations of abstract concepts. Sri Guru Granth Sahib broke the barriers that separate religions and shattered the notion of any tradition having a monopoly over the divine. It is the walk we walk that defines us. It is not the label of any religion that elevates us to mystic planes and the ultimate embrace by the Beloved. It is how we embrace divinity in our every thought and action that matters. My interpretation of the concepts is first and foremost an outpouring of my love. The concepts form the essence of Sri Guru Granth Sahib and are immeasurably profound and subtle and often above the grasp of intellectual understanding. You may read the book sequentially or one concept at a time. Do take the time to reflect upon each concept. This is how the depth of the concept will be understood and revealed to you. My purpose is to ignite a spark. Your journey will be uniquely your own. And I hope that it fills your heart with as much wonder and inner joy that I experience that comes from gurbani to me. I hope that Home of the Beloved deepens your connection with the Shabad Guru and it becomes your beacon in life. Onward in Chardi Kala, always. Let me read Siddiq to you. Siddiq is steadfast faith. It is the confidence of the seed that knows it will bloom. It is the trust of the stream that clashes with boulders to make its way to the ocean. It is the fortitude of the butterfly that breaks free from her confinement as a caterpillar. Siddiq nurtures the fetus in the darkness of the womb. Siddiq keeps the denuded tree in the fall standing steadfast while waiting for spring. Siddiq allows the peacock to shed its iridescent feathers each year, knowing that they will come back in full glory again. Siddiq is serene and full of hope at all times, Siddhak doesn't question. It dwells in certainty. A life lived in Siddhak is sweet. Death in Siddhak is fearless. Without Siddhak, the world is a place of turmoil where, like an autumn leaf stripped from its branch, one floats in banishment and falls into oblivion. Siddhak is learned from the shining stories of those who upheld their faith and were not defeated by adversity, those that gave up their lives rather than their principles. Sikh history is replete with legends of such men and women who continue to inspire us through the annals of time. Saints, masters, and devotees of all traditions are anchored to Siddhak. Their faith and confidence keep them committed to the divine. Siddhak heals hearts, strengthens resilience, and restores vitality. Even when defeat seems imminent, Siddhak leads us to victory. I'll read Seva to you. Seva. Seva is service without the trumpet of ego. It is a gift that seeks neither reward nor acknowledgement. True Seva is performed with selflessness. It is not easy to serve without ego and expectation of recognition or reward. With even a minuscule expectation, Seva becomes a commercial transaction. When all acts of Seva are committed to the divine, it becomes worship. Seva elevates the one who gives without obligating the one who receives. Who does one serve? Gurbani urges us to serve the divine. Serve those who are engaged in the service of the divine. Serve with loving devotion. Serve the hungry and the deprived. Serve the weak, the old, and the sick. Serve because the needy strike a chord in you, and you experience their need as your own. Serve with integrity. Serve the environment, the air, the water, the great Mother Earth. Serve to uplift, serve to beautify, and serve to transform. Serve the inner silence, the inner music, and the inner voice. Do not serve your greed or your base appetites, or the greed and base appetites of others. Do not serve grudges or remorse. Do not serve attachment or anger. Do not serve that which bloats your ego or the egos of others. Do not serve under pressure or in fear. Do not serve to flatter or to fawn. Serve because you are one with all.
Jessi, tell us, what inspired you to write this book, The Home of the Beloved?
So what inspired me to write the book was truly my love for Gurbani and my deep desire to share this beautiful, all-inclusive message is what made me write this book. During my talks at various venues, both Sikh and international, I very often came away with a feeling that people were hungering for more. Invariably, several individuals would come up from the audience and ask me if I could recommend a book that contained the core message of Sri Guru Granth Sahib in English. I chose 50 concepts that cover the basics and wrote Home of the Beloved as a starting point for any seeker who wants to understand the basics of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. And I hope that it inspires readers to take deep dives into the scripture on their own.
So as a journey of love, what does it take in time, coordination, and other resources to both write and then publish this book?
Thank you for understanding that it was a journey of love. It was also a labor of love for all of us that were engaged with it. I had a great team, by Guru's grace, that helped me in the publication of the book. My dear friend Jyoti from India customized the beautiful calligraphy font used for the concepts. Miran Fool from Maryland was my soul sister on this journey. She was a fastidious editor, untiring, demanding in her pursuit for clarity of the concepts as I wrote them. She also designed the book, and Covander Gage, a talented graphic artist, offered design elements to choose from and also did the layout for the book. It was not easy to make decisions because given that the book was about gurbani, every design element had to be befitting of the sacred subject. The process of publication was very challenging. Upon my request, Indupal Singh, my Buaji's younger son, who lives in Mexico, took on the huge responsibility of getting the book printed. Now, he's not in the publishing business, but I knew that whatever he takes on, he will excel at it. He had to vet several printers and visit the offices before he chose one that he felt he could trust to do a good job. Amongst the many hurdles we had to cross was finding the exact tone of gold that we wanted to use for the book. It was not easily available. On March 18th, 2020, I got a video from Indupal in which he showed me the first copy of the book fresh off the press. He was tearing up with gratitude upon seeing how beautiful it looked. He held it very reverently and prayerfully and said that he was grateful that the task I had assigned him to do had been accomplished and that the first batch of books were ready to be shipped. I was excited and was looking forward to a Vaisakhi launch. On March 19th, 2020, a lockdown was declared due to COVID-19. Everything came to a grinding halt. An arduous wait of 6 months ensued, reinforcing the lesson that we may work hard to complete a task or a project. How and when it comes to fruition is in the hands of the divine.
How would you summarize the message or purpose of this book in one sentence?
I will need more than one sentence to answer this question. The purpose of the book is to make the message of Gurbani, of Sri Guru Granth Sahib, accessible to anyone who wants to have a flavor of the original quotations as well as short and succinct explanations of fundamental concepts of Sri Guru Granth Sahib. The message is that all of us carry the divine light within us. We are connected with one another and are part of one human race. Our purpose in life is to realize our divinity and merge back with the beloved. And along the way, we support and serve one another through our loving actions. And very importantly, respect the environment because we are connected with it intrinsically. Respect Mother Earth, who gives us so much.
Jessi, I've had the privilege of knowing you for a few decades. How would you describe yourself? And tell us about your life outside your resume.
My life outside my resume. Okay. I would describe myself as a daughter of the Guru who has led a very blessed life. I've been rewarded way beyond my capabilities, and I've experienced Guru Prasad, without which I would be utterly lost. I have had amazing opportunities to learn and share the message of the Guru, and I believe that that is the purpose of my life. I feel that for the most part, people that come into my life have enriched me, and I'm filled with immense gratitude for the gifts that I've received and continue to receive every day of my life.
So, who was your most eminent teacher?
I have been very lucky to have had several wonderful teachers in my life. Parents are always one's first teachers. My mother's sidq and my father's integrity have been inspirational for me. I'm always reminded by their lived example to remain steadfast in my faith and hold integrity as the highest value. I am deeply indebted to my brother and mentor, Kanwar Harbhajan Singh, also known as Captain Singh, who gave me the love of the Guru. He started the International Institute of Gurmat Studies with me as his co-founder, and I had an opportunity to learn from eminent Sikh scholars and historians that were invited to the Sikh youth camps held first in India and then internationally. I developed advanced curriculum for those campers who came back and taught at the camps, further enhancing my engagement with Sikhi and nurturing my love for Sikhi as well. I have learned so much from my husband, whose Chardikala is admirable. My mother-in-law's meticulous attention to detail taught me to be more mindful. My son's razor-sharp mind and deep insights have both amazed and informed me since he was very young. I have learned so much from my friends, many of whom are smarter and more worldly wise than me. My most abiding and eminent teacher and guide for the last several decades has been Sri Guru Granth Sahib. My Guru helps me to stay attuned with the divine. Every day brings new inspirations that become aspirations.
What is your message to the Sikh community?
My message to the community. My message to the community is, don't keep the beautiful message of Sri Guru Granth Sahib under wraps. Learn it, imbibe it, live it, share it. When we start living the message, we will make our world a better place. We will become instruments of peace and harmony.
Jessi, you've dedicated your life to teaching the Sikh youth. What is your message to that Sikh youth?
My message to the Sikh youth is, get to know your Guru. Spend time with gurbani. Start with the translations if you need to. Learn Gurmukhi to really experience the flavor, the cadence, the beauty of the scripture. It'll be an investment in yourself, because the experience of reading and spending time with Gurbani in Gurmukhi is unsurpassed. I promise you that the word will reveal itself to you as you progress. You will start understanding. Gurbani will speak to you. With Sri Guru Granth Sahib as your personal living Guru, you will always have an anchor in life. Babaji Meher Kare. Guru Ang Sang, Guru Rakha, always.